In an ever-developing world of science, the idea of psychic and supernatural powers might seem like it is becoming more of a myth. Many people are skeptical about it. I'm going to dig deeper into the supernatural world and try to change people's views on the matter. Through meeting clairvoyance and having a reading myself, I may not necessarily prove it to be true, but hopefully I'll show that there is still a place for mystics in modern society. Recordings of the supernatural stretch as far back as 1 AD, with soothsayers and fortune tellers spoken about in ancient readings. Here in modern times, almost a quarter of the UK has seen a psychic, with over half of those thought that the reading was truthful. In comparison, over a third of Britons feel that psychics are not only without ability, but also deliberately deceive the public by claiming to have skills that they do not possess. I met with Kerin Webb, a practicing clairvoyant, to find out more about mediumship and hear about his career. So when someone comes in for a private reading, what is the process that you go through?
Before they arrive, I go into, I guess you'd call it kind of a meditative state. I'll sit there with my eyes closed, and in my mind I send my thoughts in the direction of the spirit world, and I imagine my spirit guides coming through and drawing close to me. And then when the client arrives, there's a preamble that I go through that lasts about 5 minutes. So I'll tell them at the outset, tell me nothing about yourself. Then I'll tell them the kind of information that might come through. It might be mediumship, it might be to do with day-to-day life, it could be spirit guides or angels will come through and reference himself to the person that I'm speaking to, so it can cover a wide area. Then once that's done, it's like I send my energy upwards, something idiosyncratic, but I just imagine my thoughts going upwards, and that helps me to make what I would call a connection. And then it's like, to use modern technology, it's like a download of information. Suddenly I start knowing things without knowing how I know it. It just comes in my head. And it's like the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle comes together. So we get the visual, we get the auditory, we get the kinesthetic, and things like that. And I offer that to the client, and it seems to, very often fit the picture.
Technology has affected the way people can have a reading. You don't have to meet clairvoyants in person anymore. There are hundreds of websites where you can get readings via email, Skype and telephone for a set price. Meeting Kerin was very interesting, but I still wanted to know for sure if his stories were true. Paula, the client Kerin referred me to when I met him, agreed to tell me her side of the story. What made you want to see a medium?
Well, I've always been interested in mediumship and getting in touch with the spirits, and my mum had died a little while earlier and I knew Kerin, and I thought I'd ask him to do a reading for me.
When Kerin did the reading, what happened?
He did make contact with my mum and she said lots of things to me, but the most interesting thing was, which nobody knew about, he said your mum liked knitting and he could see wool all around her, and he saw a green cardigan, a woolen cardigan. She had been trying to finish this green cardigan before she died. She'd made it too big and she was unpicking parts of it and re-knitting it, and she actually never finished doing that. So that was quite curious, really. So I thought that was very interesting and probably was a link with my mum.
I have to admit, hearing Paula confirm the story does make me wonder if there really is a paranormal world full of spirits willing to make contact. But what does the general public think? I made my way to Bournemouth town centre to find out. It's clear that some people are passionate believers due to having made contact with the spirit themselves, but there are still many who don't feel they have enough evidence. The only way for me to find out for sure is if I have a reading myself and see if it's accurate. Luckily, Kerin agreed to meet me again and let me record my first ever clairvoyant experience.
So I'm just going to tune into spirit now, hopefully, and let's see if we can bring something through for you. I will just pass the driving test or something like that?
Yeah, my sister just passed that.
Just pouring water. Okay, and then let that fish and chip shop or something like that.
Well, I went twice this week.
Plays basketball.
Yeah, my housemate.
You have a very good memory. You absorb information and you read a lot.
I used to read a lot.
Maybe worked for a university.
Yeah, my dad, he's lectures.
I read a lot. Or you had a collection of books or something like that. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Somebody either has the ability to be an artist, or somebody likes art or goes to art galleries. Who's the art?
That was me.
That's you. Yeah. Or somebody's a chemist, or
I used to work in a chemist.
did you? And notes in the way of goals.
That's my mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a peasant.
Did you? And you really like superheroes, like Marvel, DC, Batman. As somebody that goes hiking or likes to go do a lot of walking or something.
My dad likes to do a lot of walking.
That's what I'm seeing is an expanse of water that he's looking out on. Skiing on snow or water skiing or something like that.
She did jet skiing.
Jet skiing. Yeah. Some of these might make sense later. People have, yeah, they give me ring, so something to do with the ring. There is the energy of a book inside you that you could bring out at some point, and anything else, Spirit? So we got some stuff that you could make sense of. We got some stuff, unfortunately, that we couldn't make sense of in the reading. But at least we got something rather than nothing, which is a plus. Great.
No, that was really good.
Thank you, and thank you. Okay.
If I'm honest, the reading left me in shock. I never expected him to tell me things that were so relevant to my family. It wasn't just me the reading affected either. There were some comments he made that I could make no connection to, but when we finished filming, members of our camera team claimed Kerin described something they had done or people they knew. I don't know if I'm a full believer now, but my perspective has definitely changed. I just can't figure out how he could have known some of those things. I guess clairvoyancy will always have an element of mystery surrounding it. There will always be people who believe and those who don't. But there's one thing I know for sure. There is something unexplainable out there.